Everyone thinks that eggs are the best source of protein, but the truth is, there are foods even twice as powerful, and hardly anyone knows about them. I want to tell you about an elderly man in his 80s whom I once met. On his first visit to my clinic, he was out of breath, his voice trembling as he said, "Doctor, just standing up from this chair makes me feel like I've climbed a whole mountain." Can you imagine that feeling? That moment when your body seems to resist you, when even the smallest task becomes a challenge. But then, only about 10 weeks later, I met him again in the park. He was still the same man, but his face was remarkably brighter. He told me that every morning he now walked several laps around the park, chatting with friends as he went. "Every step makes me feel a few years younger," he said. And in his eyes, I saw not just restored health, but also the return of confidence and freedom he thought he had lost. The remarkable thing is, this change didn't come from expensive medicine or some complicated method. It came from a simple decision, changing the source of protein in his daily meals. Not eggs, but other foods, more refined, richer in nutrients, and especially suited to the body after age 70. And in this video, I will share with you 7 such protein sources, foods that can help you maintain muscle, rekindle strength, and restore confidence in your own body. If you find this topic useful, I truly hope you'll hit like so more people can discover it, and don't forget to subscribe to continue joining me on upcoming health journeys. 7. Greek yogurt. Have you ever had mornings when your body simply had no appetite for any food? That feeling of sitting at the table without any desire to eat, sipping a quick cup of tea and skipping breakfast altogether? I've met so many people like that, and perhaps you yourself have felt this way at times. I remember a woman in her 70s living quietly after her husband passed away. She told me that breakfast for her was nothing more than a dull routine, a cup of tea to fill the emptiness. The result was that her body grew weaker, her steps became unsteady, and her sleep restless. When I suggested she try adding a cup of Greek yogurt to her breakfast, she laughed. "A little cup of yogurt like this? How could it change anything, doctor?" Yet only a few weeks later, when she returned, her face was noticeably brighter. She said, "I never thought it could make me feel this much better. I can walk longer, I feel less tired, and at night I sleep more deeply." In that moment, I could see in her eyes the spark of someone who had regained trust in her own body. Greek yogurt has something truly special. It contains both types of protein, whey, which quickly nourishes the muscles, and casein, which releases slowly, keeping the muscles fed for hours. After the age of 70, our bodies are no longer as patient as before. The window for protein absorption is shorter, and it is this combination that makes Greek yogurt such a simple yet refined gift for the muscles. Not only that, the probiotics in it improve gut health, and when the gut is healthy, muscles are healthier too. Scientists call this the gut-muscle axis, an invisible thread connecting digestion and strength. It may sound abstract, but if you've ever felt lighter in your stomach and slept better after a proper meal, you already know how real this power is. I want you to imagine, in the morning, under the first rays of sunlight, you sit down with a refreshing cup of Greek yogurt, topped with a few slices of kiwi or fresh strawberries. Just that. And you are sending your body a message. I still care. I still want to live healthy, to live free. To me, Greek yogurt isn't just food, It's like a quiet companion, reminding us that sometimes the smallest things can carry the greatest healing power. 6. Lentils. When people think of protein, they immediately think of meat, fish, or eggs. Lentils, on the other hand, are often overlooked. Some even say, beans are just carbs. How could they make you strong? But the truth is quite different. I recall an elderly man in his 70s who joined a local exercise club. He often complained that when he woke up in the morning, his body felt heavy, and he had no desire to walk with the others. Looking at his diet, I realized he ate almost only white rice, very few vegetables, and no plant-based protein sources. I suggested he try a bowl of lentil soup in the evening, lightly seasoned, easy to eat, and warming to the stomach. 2 months later, when I met him again, he smiled gently and said, "Doctor, now I look forward to the mornings. My body feels lighter, my stomach more comfortable, and my blood sugar is much more stable." That response made me realize once again that sometimes strength doesn't come from grand things, but from a simple bowl of soup on the table. Lentils are actually very rich in protein, about 18 grams in one cooked cup. But that's not all. They also contain fiber and folate. The fiber nourishes gut bacteria, producing subtle compounds that reduce inflammation and improve the body's ability to use protein. Scientists call this the gut-muscle axis, a quiet but essential link between digestion and muscle strength. When the gut is healthy, muscles are better nourished too. In addition, lentils also provide iron and potassium, two nutrients that older adults often lack. Iron helps oxygen travel to the muscles, so you won't feel short of breath when climbing stairs. Potassium keeps muscles firm and reduces sudden nighttime cramps. I want you to imagine, on a chilly evening, instead of just eating plain rice with soup, you have a warm bowl of red lentil soup, smooth and comforting. Each spoonful not only warms your stomach, but also nourishes every cell in your body. The next morning, when you stand up, you'll find your legs steadier and your steps lighter. Lentils, a humble, simple food, yet carrying the power to help us maintain independence and freedom in old age. 5. Soy and edamame. Sometimes the most familiar things are the ones we overlook. Soy is a perfect example. I've heard many patients say, "Doctor, soy is only for women. Men who eat too much will get weak." Whenever I hear that, I just smile because the truth is completely different. In modern medicine, soy is considered one of the rare complete plant-based proteins, meaning it provides all the essential amino acids needed to nourish and protect muscle. I recall a 68-year-old man, a former construction worker. After years of relying on red meat, his body started to decline. High cholesterol, palpitations, and weakening muscles. When I suggested replacing part of his meat intake with edamame, young soybeans, he asked in surprise, "How can these tiny beans compare to beef?" But just 3 months later, he returned with more stable blood results and a stronger gait. He even laughed and said, "Now I believe these green beans are stronger than a steak." The magic of soy isn't just its protein, it also contains isoflavones, plant compounds that strengthen bones, reduce inflammation, and balance hormones. For people over 70, when bone density declines and muscles waste away more easily, soy becomes a steady, often underestimated ally. I want you to picture this. In the afternoon, you snack on a handful of freshly boiled edamame, sweet and nutty. Or in the evening, enjoy a bowl of soft tofu soup, light yet nourishing. Even a warm cup of soy milk in the morning can replace a bland cup of tea, both tasty and nourishing for your body. And then you'll realize strength doesn't always come from grand things. Sometimes it lies in those little green beans, quietly building resilience and vitality over the years. 4. Wild salmon. If there is one food that nourishes the muscles while also protecting the heart, it is wild salmon. I remember an elderly woman in her late 70s, frail and thin, who came in saying that climbing just a few steps left her breathless. Forcing her to stop midway, she told me, "I eat meat every day, I drink milk too, so why is my body still getting weaker?" Looking at her diet, I realized she was missing one key piece: healthy fats, the kind that red meat and eggs cannot provide. I suggested she add wild salmon to her meals a few times a week. At first, she was doubtful, but just a few months later, she returned with brighter eyes, quicker steps, and told me, "I no longer feel so drained." The difference came from omega-3s, the precious fatty acids abundant in wild salmon. They act like a thin layer of oil, silently lubricating every muscle fiber, preventing the silent inflammation that accumulates over the years. A study at the University of Washington showed that older adults who added omega-3s equivalent to 3 servings of salmon a week increased their muscle mass by nearly 6% without changing their exercise routine. That means, with the right choice, your body can use protein far more effectively. Not only that, wild salmon is a natural source of vitamin D, vital for strong muscles and bones. Its vibrant pink-orange color comes from astaxanthin, a rare antioxidant even more powerful than vitamin C, with the ability to protect muscle cells from the wear of time. Every piece of salmon you eat is not just a delicious meal, but also a hidden shield against aging. Imagine this: a simple dinner of steamed salmon, a few slices of fresh lemon, and some green vegetables. That light, fresh taste not only warms the family table, but also nourishes every cell in your body. It's a feeling of both peace and strength, a precious gift every old age deserves. 3. Whey protein. There is a truth that often surprises people when I say it. After age 70, our muscles become picky. Eating enough protein may no longer be enough because the body doesn't absorb and use it as effectively as before. And this is exactly where whey protein becomes a special key. I recall an 82-year-old man who used to maintain light daily exercise, yet he complained that the more he exercised, the weaker he felt, and he had to hold on to the railing when climbing stairs. When I suggested he add whey protein to his breakfast, he laughed. "At my age, drinking that powder stuff, what good will it do?" But he still gave it a try. Each morning, he mixed a glass of whey with some fresh berries and a hint of cinnamon. 2 months later, he called me excitedly. "Now I can climb the stairs without holding on to the rail." The magic of whey lies in its speed. Within just an hour of drinking it, amino acids, especially leucine, flood the bloodstream, switching on the muscle-building signal. Meanwhile, eggs take 3 to 4 hours to fully break down, and in old age, that golden window for muscle growth has already passed. That's why even a small portion of whey can deliver twice, even 3 times the effect compared to eggs. And it doesn't stop there. Whey also contains natural antibodies and peptides that soothe silent inflammation in the gut, the very reason why many older adults eat enough yet still feel weak. When the gut is healthy, protein truly reaches the muscles instead of being wasted. I want you to imagine a peaceful morning Instead of rushing through or skipping breakfast, you sit down and mix a cool glass of whey with some fruit. In just a few sips, you've given your body a new source of energy, not just to survive, but to live stronger and more confidently. To me, whey protein is like a switch that turns youth back on for the muscles. It reminds us that while age can slow the body down, there are still simple ways to awaken strength from within. 2. Chicken breast. If I had to choose one lean meat that is both familiar and effective for building muscle after 70, I would not hesitate to say chicken breast. It isn't fancy, it isn't expensive, but it is a solid foundation for the health of many older patients I've worked with. I remember a 74-year-old woman who often complained of fatigue, rapid heartbeat, and weakening legs. Looking at her diet, I realized she ate a lot of fatty meat and rarely lean cuts. I advised her to make a change, reduce fatty meats, and replace them with chicken breast. At first, she frowned. Chicken breast is too dry. I can't eat that. But just a few months later, she returned with a bright smile, saying she felt lighter, could walk longer without shortness of breath, and her heart felt more stable. The secret lies in the fact that chicken breast is a pure protein source, about 27 grams in 100 grams of meat, with all the essential amino acids and almost no saturated fat. For older adults, that means building muscle without overburdening the heart. I often suggest simple but thoughtful ways to prepare it. Lightly boiled, pan-seared with a bit of olive oil, or shredded into a salad with vegetables. When combined skillfully, chicken breast isn't dry at all. It becomes tender, flavorful, easy to eat, and full of clean energy. Picture this: a simple lunch of pan-seared chicken breast, a few slices of avocado, and some greens. After the meal, your stomach feels light, your body fueled with enough energy to take a walk with friends, to talk with family without feeling drained. To me, chicken breast is like a reminder. To stay healthy and independent in old age, we don't always need distant secrets. Just small, right choices, like a piece of chicken breast at mealtime, can be enough to preserve strength and freedom in every step.
1. Cottage cheese. There is something few people realize. Our muscles don't just waste away during the day while we're active, they are also quietly eroded while we sleep. After 70, this process happens faster, leaving many people waking up heavy, with limbs sore as if they'd been carrying a load all night. I remember a 73-year-old man who came in looking exhausted. He sighed, "Doctor, every morning I wake up drained, with no strength at all." When I asked about his dinner, I learned he often ate lightly, just some bread before bed. I suggested he try a small serving of cottage cheese before sleeping. At first, he hesitated. A little cheese, how could that change anything? But after just 3 weeks, he returned with a bright smile, saying, "I woke up feeling completely different, lighter, less sore, and I even did some gentle morning stretches." The secret lies in casein, a slow-digesting protein abundant in cottage cheese. Once in the stomach, casein forms a light gel that releases amino acids steadily over 6 to 8 hours as you sleep. It's like a gentle stream flowing into your muscles, preventing them from breaking down overnight. European studies have shown that older adults who eat cottage cheese before bed continue to build muscle protein while they sleep, instead of losing it as usual. And it doesn't stop at protein. Cottage cheese brings selenium, a mineral many older adults lack, acting as a shield against fatigue. It's also rich in calcium, vitamin B12, and phosphorus, nutrients that keep bones strong, muscles flexible, and energy flowing steadily. Imagine this: a quiet evening, instead of going to bed with an empty stomach, you enjoy a small bowl of cottage cheese with a drizzle of honey or a few walnuts. The next morning, you wake up feeling lighter, your legs steadier, and your mind clearer. To me, cottage cheese is like a small secret of sleep, silently protecting muscles while we remain unaware. It reminds us that healthcare isn't always about big changes. Sometimes it's just a small choice before bed.
So today, we've journeyed through something truly meaningful. From number 7, Greek yogurt, to number 6, lentils, then number 5, soybeans and edamame, number 4, wild salmon, number 3, whey protein, number 2, chicken breast, and finally, number 1, cottage cheese. Each of these foods is like a small brick that, when placed correctly, helps rebuild a solid foundation for the body after age 70. They are not just nutrition, but reminders that strength and freedom are never truly lost, as long as we choose the right way to nourish them. The most important thing I want you to remember is not the names of these proteins, but this message. Muscle loss is not the destiny of old age. The body can still recover. It can still be strong, and you can absolutely live more freely within your own body. I want to ask you one thing. Among the 7 foods I've shared, which one would you like to try first? Leave your answer in the comments below, because I truly want to hear from you. And if you found this video helpful, please hit like so this message can reach more people, and subscribe to continue walking with me on these upcoming health journeys. I am Dr. William. Thank you for spending your precious time here with me. I wish you always strength, clarity, and freedom in every step of your later years.